What do you need to have a successful setup for a solo podcast? So this is a question that I've seen a lot recently because there are a lot of things out there that people say, you got to do this first. No, you got to do this first. No, you got to do this. This is more important. This is that. So there's a lot of confusing information. So I wanted to share with you what I think are the 3 most important things to take into consideration for your solo podcast setup. So let's get right to it. Hey y'all, Krystal here today, and I want to talk about your solo podcast setup. Okay, so the first thing that is most important to take into consideration for your solo podcast setup is your environment. This is actually often overlooked more than anything. People are very quick to spend lots of money on really expensive equipment, but if you could have a $1,000 microphone, but if you have an echo in your office, like I do right here where I'm recording this, then your podcast still isn't going to sound great. I don't care. I could actually have a better sounding podcast with a $20 microphone in a closet than I could in this office because it echoes so stinking bad. So what do you do about your environment? So the first thing that I recommend is try to reduce echo. So if you are in a place that has bare walls or it's just in this room, there's actually tiles. I have doors with windows over here. I have windows in front of me. Like there's just so many places for me to like have sound bouncing off and it echoes so bad. There's tile on the floor. Even though I have a rug in here, it echoes so bad. So what I recommend is either recording in your closet. I actually have a video right here that'll show you how I have my podcast set up in my closet sometimes, and I record in there, and it's just what I had to do for a really long time. But recently I got a brand new piece of equipment that I'm totally in love with, and I recommend it to all my students and my clients if they don't want to record in their closet anymore and they want to have something that's very efficient. I've done acoustic panels. I actually have a video right here that shows you all about when I installed acoustic panels in my office that I don't really use anymore, but it shows you how to do it if you want to do that. But recently I purchased a Chaotica eyeball, or this is actually the Chaotica Fat Boy. There's the brand, there it is, Chaotica. I'm gonna link below this video, so I'll show you everything. But what's really cool about it, because it just slips right over my Blue Yeti microphone. And what this does, it's actually acoustic foam. Like it's squishy, right? Like it's like a squishy ball, okay? It's not heavy, this thing is fantastic. And it has a pop filter. That is what this is. So you put your microphone in, and you talk into it and it deadens so much of the sound. It's still not perfect. Like in this office, there's just a little bit of an echo, but it's so much better than what it is right now while I'm recording. There's echo in here and I get it. And I probably one day will invest in amazing acoustic panels and a studio and all this, but ain't nobody got time for that. I got this right now and this is fantastic. So make sure that you try to deaden the sound in your environment. Try to get as much of the echo out as possible. Try to not have distracting noises. If someone is in the other room watching TV or doing so, just try to minimize the extra noises that are going to take away from the valuable message that you're sharing on your solo podcast. Second thing that's important for your solo podcast setup is your microphone. So I have this on my boom arm. If you want to see how I installed this, I have this video right here that shows you all about how I installed my Blue Yeti on my boom arm. Did I say my boom Yeti? My Blue Yeti. If I don't, yeah, you know what I mean. So I have my Blue Yeti here. It's not turned on right now because I unplugged it so I could move this all around the place. But I want to show you how to set this up because there came, hang on. There's an instruction book. And I am going to my desk. Of course, I can't find it right now. Well, never mind. I can't find it right now. But there is an instruction book that comes with your Blue Yeti and it tells you all about how to set it up. But I'm going to give you a quick tutorial real fast. So here you have a little blue light. Little blue light? what are you even talking about? No, it is a little light that lights up. Here, I'm just going to plug it in to show you. This video is just a hot mess. Do you see? It's a red light on my blue Yeti, and it's blinking, which means it is muted. It is not working when it is blinking. You actually have to press the button. There we go. You see? Straight up red light. Do you see that? Okay, that means it's on. Then we're gonna go down and we have a volume button. This is for, be very clear, this is for listening to, you see how it has the headphones? There's headphones. So if you are recording and you wanna listen back through the Blue Yeti, that's where you do. There's a little cord down here, you plug in and you can listen to your Blue Yeti. But if you wanna talk about the input when you actually talk into it, which I don't like actually have my mouth, I don't do that. But that is where you want to talk about the gain. Okay, I've seen lots of you lately getting your Blue Yetis and saying it's too loud, it's not loud enough. This is where you're going to control that. It's right back here. You can do this in your editing software as well, but if you want to just control it automatically, it is back here. So it might be a little reversed the way I'm doing this filming, but it says gain at the top. And I like to start it just to kind of play around with the setting right in the middle. Then when you're recording, I'm a loud person, guys. I'm a very loud person. So I like to leave it in the middle. And then if I notice, oh, I'm a little too loud when I listen back in editing, because you always do a test clip. It's another like pro tip. Do a test clip before you get like 30 minutes into an episode and you realize, oh, that sounded terrible. You don't want that to happen. So because I know I'm loud, I will actually start it where it's a little bit, it's not as loud. So I turn it to my left, your right, probably, however it looks on the, I don't know, it's backwards. I'm doing this in selfie mode. So, you know, it's always backwards. But I turn it back just a little bit. If it's too quiet, you would turn it past the halfway mark. So you kind of mess around with your gain to see exactly where it needs to be whenever you're recording. Now, the next setting down here is what is called the pattern. And it's funny because I can't tell you what all these other ones are. Okay, because I looked at my Blue Yeti booklet. I have to find it. I know it's around here somewhere. But I looked at the booklet and I looked at the different directions, because that's what these mean, is there are different directions that the microphone will capture voices and noises. And this upside down heart is the one that I use. This one right here, I'll zoom in and show you. Oh wait, it's not gonna focus. This one right here is the one that I use whenever I am doing my solo podcast. So that's what you need to know. Don't mess with the other ones right now. If you start having in-person interviews and you have multiple people, then we can explore the other ones. But if you are going to be facing the microphone right at your face and talking, then you just need the upside down heart. That's the one that you need to have for your pattern. So I hope that helps. And let me know in the comments below if you want to see like a full setup of how I actually did this, and I could take it off here where it's a little easier to see. But I do this, and going back to the environment, you want to have, look, guys, look, it just fits. It's so pretty right on. And then I actually, hang on, let me give you the full effect. Now it's backwards. I'll turn it this way. I normally don't turn it and switch it around. But I always have it where the light is showing, because then when I know if it's actually recording or if it's muted. And then I talk into my podcast microphone. Oh my gosh, y'all, I do not need to sing. I know this is about me, but I had to give you a little sample. So there you go. And the last thing that I want to talk about is your software. Okay. When it comes to software for your podcast, you cannot go wrong with Audacity, GarageBand, Audition. Like, there's so many options out there. But a few things that I want to make sure that you look at that are very, very important is what input device. So make sure if you have a Blue Yeti or you have a different like microphone, whatever you're using to record your podcast, make sure that is selected, because I cannot tell you, I messed up so many times in the beginning because my laptop microphone, which is terrible, was selected when I was recording, and I did not realize it until 20, 30 minutes in, and I listened to it and I'm like, why does this sound awful? because my microphone was not selected. So make sure that that is set properly. And the second thing I want to talk about when it comes to your podcast editing software is make sure that your input levels aren't too loud. So going back to me being loud and making sure that the gain is set up correctly on my microphone, your input levels for your microphone in your Audition or GarageBand or Audacity, that needs to be set up properly so you're not jumping up in the reds, right? When you're recording and you see, you're like, oh my gosh, it's like too loud. What's going on? You have to make sure that that is set up properly. So those are the tips that I have for you whenever it comes to setting up your solo podcast recording. Make sure you hit that thumbs up if you found some value in this video and subscribe below. That way you don't miss any future podcasting episodes. Check out these other podcast episodes, videos, whatever they're called, right here. And make sure you come back every single week when we put out brand new videos. And remember, keep it up. We all have to start somewhere.